Hi and welcome to my channel. This is Pearl and today's process video is about my daughter being a shredder. Hashtag shredder. I am using a 12 by 12 basil white cardstock and this is the second time I'm using the Felicity Jane Madison kit. I decided I'm going to do a horizontal, like a T kind of a design. So I take about 3 inches of that polka dot paper and I'm going to use, what are these strips called? Can't remember what these strips are called. Ugh. Well, I'm going to put the pink and white striped one on top, and then I had fussy cut the scallops out of another one that I'm going to put on the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere that down lightly with glue, and then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and sew on the top and bottom to add a little bit of texture. See, I'm trying to figure out which color to use. I'm using my T ruler to decide where I'm going to do my journaling, and I mark it with pencil about right where the bottom of the picture is going to be, and then the 4 by 6 of the picture, so I can journal right under there. I'm going to take this white cardstock to my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter, and I'm going to journal on there. Kaya, today you refused to go back into snowboarding school. You stated that you wanted to snowboard with the family. Imagine my shock when you went zooming down the mountain. You were faster than when your brother started snowboarding. Girl, you're a natural. So now I'm adhering the strip. I can't remember what it's called. The strip to the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and take it to my sewing machine, which I took to the crop with me. I'm still at the crop. And I'm going to go ahead and sew that just to give it some texture. It looks a little bit better, doesn't it? It's a little more dimension and texture. So I take this picture of my daughter and I'm going to go ahead and start matting it to the black and white diagonal cardstock. And I'm using my Kokuyu adhesive. It's an adhesive from Japan and it's my favorite. So I cut that down using my Caterpillar Pro, and I'm doing it just so that it mats. And then I'm going to use the orange and orange striped one and cut a little bit around that as well to mat that one because I hadn't used that cardstock yet. And then I'm going to mat it with the wood grain cardstock as well. I'm looking through all my pieces of cardstock. I'm just off screen there for the cardstock, sorry. But this is a new 12 by 12 as well, and I just like to put adhesive towards the middle of the picture because I'm going to cut it down, but I also like to put foam adhesive to the corners of the picture. Now, before I adhere this down, I'm going to go through and put foam stickers. These are the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I only use one side of the sticky side because I don't need to stick it down to both sides of papers. So I'm going to put those in the 4 corners as dimensionals. You can see there to give it some dimension and interest, visual interest. Then what am I going to do? I am going to decide to adhere it down. I'm sorry. I did this weeks ago and now I'm trying to do the voiceover. And I'm going to go through the flowers that I fussy cut out of the cardstock and I'm going to put it on the top left, just above the T, the top T. I'm also going to use VersaFine ink to date stamp this. I'm using the Felicity Jane date stamp. And I'm going to cut that big flower that I fussy cut in half, and I'm going to put a portion of it to the top left-hand corner. I'm going to use that as my first embellishment cluster. The other embellishment clusters are going to be on the bottom right of the photo and bottom left of the photo. You can see I'm trying to decide where to put these. And so I'm going to put this on the bottom right, and I'm going to adhere that down as well as put some foam adhesive behind it to give it extra dimension. Now I'm going to take another piece of flour and I'm going to add it to the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to adhere that down with the foam adhesive as well, but I need to add something else there for visual interest. So I'm going to go through my die cut stack trying to decide what to put there into that corner. I don't want it too heavy, but I need a little something to weight to balance the layout. I'm trying to get it just right so that you can still see the typing, but even if it covers some of it. I hate covering a lot of the flour, but you know, whatever for the dimension, for the design of the layout. Now this is the tag, the embossed tag. This has 3 hearts on it. So I'm going to put crochet thread through again, and I'm going to put the foam adhesive on here and put it to the top left-hand corner up, on top of the flowers as part of the embellishment cluster there. Now I'm trying to decide what else I should use, and I'm going through the die cut embellishments there on the top right hand of the screen. You can't see all of them, but what I decide to do is I'm going to put that green heart right there. I'm going to adhere it down because that bottom right hand corner already has a foam dot that's making it pop up, so the heart is going to look like it's popped up. I'm debating whether I should put that stem on to the bottom left hand corner of the photo, and I'm unsure, so I'm still looking through and trying to find different embellishments to put into that bottom left hand corner. What I do ultimately decide to do is I am going to put a tab, and I'm going to staple that on using my tiny attacher, but first I adhere it down so that it remains straight. Then I'm going to take my tiny attacher and stamp onto it. I do wish I had stamped something into that little white spot, but I think I just forgot, because nothing from the stamp set would fit on there, and then I just forgot to stamp it. Maybe I'll go back and do that later. Okay, after that I'm still needing to put something into that bottom left hand corner to balance the layout. I decide I'm going to use a tab. Initially I think I'm going to use that dark tab, but I end up switching it out for this tab here. I'm going to go ahead and put the crochet thread through there. I cut the tab in half because I can use the other half of the tab as embellishment for something else, layering piece. So I go ahead and stick that down. Then I am trying to decide what else I need to put to the bottom right hand corner, and I put this tab and layer that as well, so you can see the polka dot part of the label. Now this was my daughter's first time snowboarding with the family, because I had put her in snowboarding school for a couple of days beforehand, and this girl is a natural. She's a shredder. So I'm going to use the Felicity Jane stamp. I can't remember what the name of this alpha is, but if it's available I will go ahead and link it down below. So the title of my layout is #shredder. So I go ahead and put that on my T ruler so that I can figure out where I want my layout to be. I guess I could have used wax paper, but I didn't bring any wax paper with me to the crop. I'm going to put it just right above the picture, and I put those alphas down. I love these alphas as well. And there it is. Now of course I'm going to ink it up using the Heidi Swap black ink, and I'm going to put it on 3 corners. Again, I forget to cover my picture. Oh, you can tell I was distracted and talking to other people while I was working on these layouts. There were about 60 people at this crop, so it was loud and busy there. So I go ahead and do that. Then next I decide to take the Nuvo drops. This time it's in color mustard gold, and I put 3 drops into all three of the embellishment clusters, and then I'm going to tap the layout just to flatten them out a little bit, and then I'm going to consider my layout done. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.